What up? What's good? What's happening? It's your boy Big Herb here, and welcome to another episode of Off the Bench. I know it has been a while, about a week since I've been on here. Just to be clear, guys, usually around this time of the year, it's pretty damn slow. So I wanted to go ahead and get as much information so I could give you a smorgasbord of all the information that's been put out. So this way, I'm not just giving you little piece by little piece by little piece, because I don't want to be redundant. Just keep on going, talking about it over and over the next couple weeks and everything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off, the Commanders are the front runners to pick up Myles Garrett from the Browns. The Browns are still not interested in trying to trade him, which in my opinion is kind of dumb. And the reason why I say that is because you already have a short, talented Hall of Famer caliber player who wants to leave. He's already stated it to the press. He said he's not interested in playing them no more because they realistically do not have a chance at winning a Super Bowl. I feel like they really need to trade him, and I'm not even talking about to us. I'm just talking about just in general, because you have a star player who you can go and get a great great value for, and you could trade him to go ahead and re-up your team. Not to mention, it doesn't do that big of a deal on your salary cap, which you already are in salary cap hell with signing Deshaun Watson. Trading for Deshaun Watson and giving him a boatload of money. I think it was like a $250 million guaranteed contract. So, and yeah, you're dealing with that mess right now. So the best thing to do is trade him and try to get rid of Deshaun Watson as the best way possible, which is not looking good for the next couple years. Moving on to the next one, Rams want to trade Cooper Kupp, but if not, no one is going to make a good enough trade, they will release him. Me personally, because we've been tied to possibly picking up Cooper Kupp. Me personally, the only way that I would ever want to pick him up is if he's our third wide receiver option, because he gets hurt too much. This isn't a 2020, 2021 offensive player of the year Cooper Kupp that's coming off. The Los Angeles Rams has already said that they wanted to cut ties with him, even though he didn't. But I feel like if we're gonna ever pick him up, do not make any trades for him, especially when you know that he's gonna possibly be released. So if you're going to pick him up as a third receiving option, go ahead as a pickup and not a trade. Also, the Commanders are a top spot for Christian Kirk and Davante Adams. The only reason why I'm okay with Christian Kirk coming over here is because he has ties to our offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury. And I mean, he's had some of his most productive years with him. So I have no problem if they pick him up as a slot receiver or anything like that. But I do have an issue with Davante Adams. Number one, he's getting old. Number two, he doesn't even want to play here anyway. I don't even want ties with somebody who feels that they want to actually play here. And maybe that's just me being I guess you could say petty about it, because he did go on I think it was Hot Ones one time and just pretty much shitted on the city. So fuck him. I don't want nothing to do with him. And that's just me being petty. Now, I do know that he is a productive receiver when he actually has a good quarterback throwing to him, but he hasn't had that since he left Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers was trash last year, and he was the beneficiary of trash quarterback, and that's what he wanted. So I have no sympathy for that. Moving on. The Niners are expected to release Deebo Samuel post June 1st, which is better off to release for your getting them off the salary cap around that time. Me personally, because we have been tied to Deebo Samuels as well, I'm not really big on him either, because number one, he hasn't showed that he's healthy, and it's not the and also if you looked at a receiver on Netflix, it showed how much he was a diva. You were sitting there calling out the offense saying, "Pass me the ball," and when they actually did pass you the ball, you didn't do anything with it. You dropped it in fact. So me personally, I'm good, and it's more so because not just his attitude, but it's more so just the fact that, dude, you haven't been healthy in God knows how long. You never went over 1,000 yards receiving. Now, albeit I understand that you are a utility player, even though you want to be classified as a wide receiver. You're taking runs. He was running the ball a lot in San Fran. He was receiving the ball a lot in San Fran. So yes, he did get a lot of PT on the field. Moving on to the next thing. T. Higgins, who we were tied to trying to pick him up in free agency. Well, it looks like he's not even going to be able to touch a free agency because the Cincinnati Bengals are trying to franchise tag him. I'm assuming that he doesn't want to do this because his mom went out there and called the Cincinnati Bengals selfish bastards on Twitter. So yeah. But it looks like Joe Burrow is doing every single thing he can to try to run it back one more time. With I think T.J. Henderson, the defensive end, playing with the Cincinnati Bengals. He's a free agent this year, and if I'm not mistaken, he led the league in sacks. So you got to pay him. Not to mention you got to pay T. Higgins. And oh yeah, I forgot. You still have to sign Jamar Chase, who was the Triple Crown winner this year when you had a chance to sign him last year. All he wanted was just a penny more than what Justin Jefferson got. But Cincinnati, being Cincinnati, didn't go ahead and pay him. So now they got to go ahead and pay. Me personally, I want this. I want if I'm him, I want $3 million more than Justin Jefferson. And the reason why is because I told you to sign me last year, so make sure that you go ahead and pay me that extra money. I'm sorry. The first $1 million is because of that. The second $1 million is because, hey, I had a way more productive season, and not to mention, give me another extra $1 million because I won the Triple Crown. Only 4 players has ever done that in the history of the game, and I pulled it off. So fuck you, pay me. So yeah, that's my take on it. Also, moving on, the NFL salary cap is rising from $277.5 million up to $281.5 million. So it's good. With the Commanders will be having that extra amount of money coming in, roughly about like $82 million in salary cap. Third in the NFL, behind, I believe, the New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders. So yeah, we already knew we had a shitload of salary cap money. So, and with the staff that we got now, they're gonna make the best decisions. Alrighty, so we made 2 coaching staff hires this week. Number 1, Commanders hired Brian Schneider as assistant special teams coordinator. Snyder takes over for John Glenn, who served as the team's assistant special teams coordinator during the 2024-25 season. Prior to his time in San Francisco, Schneider worked with Seattle as the special teams coordinator from 2010 to 2020, where he worked with head coach Dan Quinn for 3 seasons, and he won a Super Bowl out there too. The second hire is the Commanders just hired Jesse Madden as the coaching staff as a offensive quality control coach. Jesse Madden, the grandson of Pro Football Hall of Famer John Madden, for those of you who didn't know, will enter his first season in the NFL after graduating from the University of Michigan. At Michigan, Madden played quarterback in his freshman season before switching over to defensive back, which is actually pretty cool, dope. I mean, when you look at it. Madden was a member of the 2024 national championship team at Michigan, so he has ties to Mikey Sanders still as well. So, from what I was hearing, as far as like with Jesse Madden, is his grandfather gave him the nod as far as saying like he's a great worker, hard worker. He also did a lot in high school. His junior year, he pretty much studied up all of his grandfather's tape from coaching the Raiders. He also did, especially during COVID, because he wasn't able to do much during COVID. He went ahead and did a lot of heavy workload to try to make sure that he was prepared for the season. Was able to get him on to play at the University of Michigan, where he later on became a national champion. So congratulations to him. Also, the NFL Combine is set to start next week, February 27th through March the 2nd. And for those of y'all that we all know, the Combine is pretty much the underwear Olympics, where the top college players in the country are going to be looked at in a Combine style interviews and 40 times weightlifting, shuttles, and whatnot, to go ahead and see how good these players are potentially. And yeah, it should be pretty good to see. Also, moving on, the Commanders are headed to Brazil. Commanders will be playing the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are considered to be the home team, and the only other time that Washington has ever played on international soil. We played the Cincinnati Bengals in 2016, and that result was a tie. Me personally, I was skeptical about being out there because it is Brazil. But looking at the situation that happened last year with Green Bay and the Eagles, everybody was safe and whatnot. So my thing is this: if you're on the team or in any way, shape, or form with the team, don't do anything to embarrass yourself. Don't do anything to get yourself picked up, and because Brazil is dangerous. And I hate to say it like that, but let's keep it a buck over here. Brazil is dangerous. Be smart. Last but not least, guys, I had the pleasure of being on Lake Lewis Jr.'s podcast yesterday for his Fan Day episode, and we'll be on next week. We had a great time on there talking about our expectations of the team, where do you think the fan base is at, and what do you think the future holds for the Commanders. So be sure to look at that on Lake Lewis Jr.'s podcast. I will leave the link in the description, so this way you can go ahead and check it out. But yeah, I had a great time. He said he will be in Indianapolis next week for the combine, and he'll be doing recording the show from there. So yes, it was a great time that was had on that show yesterday, and I can't wait to be on the next week's show. Guys, that is pretty much how we're gonna finish up this episode from off the bench. And guys, as always, left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Peace.
Yo, you made it to the end of Off the Bench. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Man, look, it ain't gonna cost you that much. It ain't gonna cost you anything at all. Just press that like, that share, and subscribe. Help a brother out, man.